I just want to give thanks to God for being alive and being here at this stage in life, that I can see my children, my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren, and a great-great-great-granddaughter. And I hope, excuse me, that they all remember what I always told them, and to be family people, love each other, support each other, and always be, if you're up on the top, turn around and give a helping hand to someone else. So I'm going to enjoy my day here today with all my family, and I guess that's it for now. Otherwise, I'll just have to repeat my speech all over again.
Hi, I'm Aurelia Cuevas Lynch, and I'm Anna's younger sister. Anna, it's hard to believe that we have reached this time of our life. Here you are turning 90, and I just turned 88. And we've always said how grateful we are that God has given us such a long life and been able to see all our family, our grandchildren, and all the family, all the young ones that have come behind us. You know I'll always love you, and you'll always have a special place in my heart. One of the things I always remember how we used to go to the show every Saturday, you and I and James and Tony, and we'd be there a good part of the day because they had a double feature, cartoons, news, etc. And Mom would fix the lunch for us, so because she knew we'd get hungry, and you were in charge of the lunch. And then Tony, James, and I would say, okay, now can we have a sandwich? And you'd say, no, we had to wait. And you always made sure that we had enough food, enough sandwiches to last during the whole show. So that's a real special memory that I have with you growing up. And another one is when we used to go down at Christmas to Cresses, our special treat, where we'd be able to go and sit at the fountain and get a hot dog and a Coke. That was our day out for eating out. So always wonderful memories growing up.
My name is Sharif Porter Lara, and I am Grandma's granddaughter. And what I remember most is a long time ago, obviously, that my grandma and I, what we say now is we have a connection from heart to heart. And I love my grandma so much. That's why I'm here. Yay. 90 years old. I love my grandma again so much.
Hi, my name is Ann Harold, also known as Annie, or as known to my grandma as my Annie. She's my grandma, my mother's mother, and I have been lucky to have known her all of my life. She spent, I would say, every weekend with us almost, and she was an important part of my life. Ever since I can remember, we would go to her house on 6th Avenue, and I would spend many weekends with her, and we'd go to Golden Gate Park, and she'd always have butterscotch candies for me with little notes every time I went to her house. And I've been lucky enough to be the only one of our relatives that have a little "my" in my name. So whenever she greets me, she always says, "Hi, my Annie." So she's been a very special person to me my whole life.
Hi.
And happy birthday.
I guess I'll start off with that so I don't forget. Happy birthday, Anna. I am the husband of Ann, who's sitting right next to me. And we've been married for 25 years. And ever since me and Ann have been together, and I met Anna, she has been very caring and loving and very accepting. And I've always felt like a big part of the family. And some of the wonderful things that I remember that you have done for me and Ann is we were able to make a couple excursions away during our anniversary, or if we just wanted to go on a little vacation, and you took care of our boys for us. And that was really, really special and awesome. And you've always been there for us. And going over to your house and enjoying Easter and Christmas a week before Christmas so that we could all be together were just some really, really fond memories that I have of the family. And once again, happy birthday to you.
Hi, Grandma. It's your number one most adorable grandson, Michael.
Your great-grandson.
Great-grandson, Michael. And I remember when I would have some sort of candy that I would bring to your house, and you would try some, or take some, actually, and you would say that you were testing for worms and to make sure it wasn't poisoned. And I knew. I was 5 years old. I knew your game. I knew the plan. I just love spending time at your house and going for Easter egg hunts. And I hope you have a great 90th birthday. And I love you very much.
Hi, great grandma. Happy 90th birthday. It's Okay, so I guess one of the times I remember the most was when we used to come over your house almost every weekend, and my brother and I would always climb up your stairs and look for the candies that you always kept up there. That's basically the first thing we'd do. That is one of the things I've always remembered, and how you always told us that even if you were given $1 million, it would not be the same as us being there. And that always meant a lot whenever you said it. And I hope you have a happy 90th birthday and all the future birthdays to come.
Yeah.
I was going to say something, but Kevin said it for me. Oh. Grandma, even if you gave me $1 million, it wouldn't mean as much as seeing you.
That's sweet. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Grandma. Woo!
Thank you.
We are Jack and Ferlene Justo. We own the home where Anna lives. Anna lives with us, and we live with Anna. We feel part of our family as well. We feel very honored to be at Anna's 90th birthday today. Anna is very special to us.
We are very, very fortunate that Anne is staying with us at Enchanted Garden.
Anna not only is a pleasure to be around and be a part of our home, she is also our official greeter at our home too, and welcomes everybody that walks through the door, and we just love her.
Yeah, she always feels like everybody's welcome at that house at Enchanted, and she just has a very, very warm heart for everybody.
She sure does. Anna, thank you for letting us be part of your life as well.
Thank you, and happy birthday. We love you.
Happy birthday.
My name is Linda Padilla, and I'm here to celebrate Anna's 90th birthday party. And I'm an old coworker of hers from Cable Car Clothiers. And I just wanted to thank Anna for all the wonderful times we've had together. And I remember you by every birthday of mine. You'd always give me money to go down and buy myself lunch. And every year it seemed like it would increase going with the times, the money. And I'll always remember you setting me straight from good from bad with the job place. And just have a happy, happy birthday and many more to come. Love you.
Hi, I'm Tony Barbosa.
And this is Tally Barbosa. I am Wilbur's niece, the daughter of Barbara Whittaker. And Tony's my husband.
So I guess the thing that I really wanted to say was, Anna, we've always loved you. We've always thought you're the greatest person. And we always enjoyed the January 1st adventures to go up to see you and Wilbur on his birthday, because it was always a great way to start the year, and it was always something we always enjoyed and looked back on throughout the year to give us smiles.
I want to go back to when I first stayed with you in your flat in San Francisco before you and Wilbur were married. And that's when I came to know you as the really thrifty person that you are, the child of the Depression and the Wonder Woman that raised 3 children alone. I remember you talking about taking those leaves of soap that are left over and putting them together so you'd have one new bar of soap. But by contrast, you have the biggest heart of anyone I've ever known. You love everyone without reserve, and you've loved Wilbur's family just as much as you do your own. I feel like we're one large family, and you're the matriarch of it all. Love you, Anna.
Love you, Anna.
This is Armando Lara. I'm the 3rd child of Ana Maria. I'm the youngest, and often known by her as Baby Armand. So it's a very distinct memory is when I was coming home from the military. I was stationed in South Korea, and she met me at the airport, and I had told her in advance, I said, don't call me Baby Armand, because there'll be other soldiers with me. And she promised me that she would restrain herself. And of course, as I come into the area where the people are waiting, she screams out, Baby Armand! And then she says, but I said I wouldn't say it. And so it's one of those very distinct memories of a very compassionate, very caring, and very loving mother. Socorro?
I am Socorro Lara, and I am Anna's daughter-in-law, wife of Armando, or Armando's wife. And then one of the good memories that I have is that she had been a wonderful mother-in-law, very loving, very caring, and also a great grandma.
My name is Rick Cuevas. I am the nephew of Anna Cuevas Lara Whittaker, who's having her 90th birthday party today. Anna is the sister of my father, Tony Cuevas. She's one of the Cuevas 5, they call them. There's Rafael, Anna, Aurelia, my dad Tony, and our uncle Jim. And Tony and Jim have both passed away since. But when I was younger as a kid, Anna would come over to our house in Fremont and babysit us while my parents, Tony and Marie, were singing with a local opera group and having rehearsals across the bay. So Anna would come down and she always loved to go into our fridge and find all the good leftovers that we had. And after a while I thought that was the only thing she ate. So one time my mom cleaned out the refrigerator, and I was horrified and I started crying. And my mom said, "Why are you crying?" He said, "There's no leftovers. What's Auntie Anna gonna eat?" You know, I thought that was the only thing she ate. But Anna's been great. She's really been a very sweet auntie to us, and we used to visit her a lot in her house in San Francisco on 6th Avenue. And she would be famous for getting one little canned ham for a family gathering and cutting it so thin that it would, she could make like 2 or 3 platters out of that. And we were always impressed by Auntie Anna with that. But we all love her very much and wish her a very happy 90th birthday.
Hi, I'm Janet Harwood. And Anna, you're related to me by marrying my dear Uncle Wilbur. We were so blessed when you came into our lives and you pushed him into marriage. That's a joke. Going up and giving you perms when you needed them always gave me a really good excuse. I didn't need one to go up and give those to you. And you loved my uncle so much. We could never have asked for a better wife for him. And the caring that you gave him. And you will always, always be our aunt. And we love you so, so much. And God bless you. And that's all I need to say. And I love you.
This is Celeon Wu Lara. Celeon, look at the camera. Say hello. So she's 90 and he's 1. 89 years difference between the two of them. And you're bewildered by all of these people, aren't you? And that's Robert, and you want to play with the balloons. That's it. Your first. So let's go in and video some people here. This is Calix Tamar and his brother Celeon. No, over here so I get a picture with the 2 of you. Come on. Come on. All right. And here's their father, who honors me by wearing a bow tie. And one of these days, he'll have both of his sons wearing bow ties. Okay. This is my mother, Anna. This is Vivian Freeman, her first boss. That's Marilyn Taffel, who has a different name. And this is their daughter, Barbara, right behind you. And you can talk to the camera here. Yeah.
Now your collar's on us. No, got it. Not yet.
I'll tell you. Happy birthday. There you go.
We're the class of 1957, Sacred Heart Grammar School. Happy birthday, Anna.
Hi, I'm Jessica Marquez. I'm Grandma Lara's granddaughter, stepdaughter to Armando. And I just wanted to say happy birthday, Grandma. I love you so much, and I'm so honored and proud to be your granddaughter by choice. And I just wanted to tell a little story about the time when I came to visit Grandma, and I spent about a week and a half at her house, just me and her and Grandpa Will, and how they accommodated me and they helped me out so much in a time of great sadness in my life. And they were so gracious, and she always made sure I had a great breakfast. She always said that was the best time of the day. And then in the evenings, we would always watch all kinds of British comedies like Are You Being Served? And she helped me buy books, and we would go down to the theater down in Mill Valley to watch movies at the local theater. And one of my favorites was Como Agua para Chocolate. When we, all the 3 of us went and watched that together. We had a wonderful time. And I just remember how gracious and how wonderful and kind, and just always listening to my problems and always giving just the best advice. And I love you, Grandma, and you're in my heart. Thank you.
This is Dave Britton. I am
Wilbur's great nephew,
Yeah.
I guess it would be. And this is my family. Growing up, I remember as a little kid going to the house on Blithdale Terrace, and you guys taught me all the little shortcuts to cut down to the little downtown. And I remember Ann would always give me a little bit of money, $5 or whatever, to go down and buy something from the joke store. And she had her little stash of frozen chocolate chip cookies in her freezer that she would always bring out for a treat for visitors. Another thing that Anna was always cooking something for her snacks. So another thing she would always make was tuna sandwiches with chopped up celery and a toasted English muffin. And I always remembered looking forward to those when I went to visit. And I like exploring their house, and Anna was always nice and made sure everyone felt comfortable and welcomed at her house.
I don't know what to say. So then when I married Dave, hi, I'm Taryn, Dave's wife, we took a drive up to Mill Valley, and on the way up he talked about the tuna fish sandwiches and he talked about the cookies, and so I was excited to get up there, and beautiful, beautiful house, the beautiful view, and then she made us the tuna fish on the toasted open-faced English muffins, which then I tried to go home and make them, and they never tasted the same. So I gave up, and that was Aunt Ann's thing. But it was just a really nice spot, and Aunt Ann was so sweet and just a gracious hostess, and just made our time up there so much fun and just really nice. So happy birthday, and we love you, and this has been a really great day. It's been a really nice day. Can you say happy birthday?
Happy birthday.
Hi, Anna. This is Donna. For everybody that doesn't know me, I am Anna's sister, Aurelia's niece. So Anna's been in my life ever since I was born. And she's just a wonderful lady, and I'm so happy we had the opportunity to celebrate your 90th birthday with you. Happy birthday, Anna. We love you.
Hi, Anna. I want to wish you a very happy birthday. May God continue to bless your life with many laughters and smiles and many, many happiness and many, many, many more years to come. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Feliz cumpleaños. Happy birthday, Anna. Happy birthday to you. Feliz cumpleaños, Ana María. Happy birthday. Don't go away.
Hey, Anna. Happy birthday, Anna.
Happy birthday. Happy 90th birthday. Happy birthday. I love you.
All right, I am Melissa Stout, and I am Anna's great niece and part of the Whittaker side of the family. Marjorie is my great grandmother. No, my grandmother, sorry. Poor thing. Anyway, I just want to say happy birthday, Auntie Ann. And the fact that you've touched so many people's lives, and you're one of the main reasons why I followed my dreams of becoming a teacher. So it's all because of you that I'm where I am today.
Okay, my name is Melinda. Well, Mindy. Everybody knows me as Mindy. I am with her. Auntie.
We're sisters.
Auntie Ann is my great aunt. And
All I want to say is happy birthday. I love you with all my heart. And I have 2 half Mexican girls, which is on the only side of the Whittaker side. And let's see, what else? Also, I know that I love your tuna sandwiches. And as well, you loved my mother-in-law's tamales. Anyway, love you and happy birthday.
I'm Julie Hoey, and I'm Auntie Anna's great-granddaughter, great niece, sorry, excuse me. But anyways, I just think Aunt Ann has shared, she may not be a teacher, but she has taught us a lot in life about how to be thankful and grateful for what we got. I mean, I would send Aunt Ann a great thank you card, and she'd send me a thank you card for my thank you card. It just, it's meant a lot to me. She showed me how to appreciate things in life and don't take people for granted, and I'm blessed to have you in my life.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Auntie Ann. Happy birthday to you. Woo!
Hi, my name is Amy, and she's my great aunt, and I love you.
My name is Angelica, and I love Aunt. Great Aunt Ann.
My name's Katrina, and I love Great Aunt Ann.
My name's Jacob, and I love my great aunt. Aiden. Say, my name is Aiden.
My name is Aiden.
Say, I love my great grandma Ann.
I like my great grandma Aunt.
Hi, my name is Matthew, and I love my great aunt Ann.
We love you.
Hi, I'm Jamie Porter Lara. Anna is my grandmother. It's been a while since we didn't live near each other. We actually never lived in close vicinity with my grandmother because we traveled around a lot because of my father's job. But I can't think of a relative with whom I have a closer relationship from the time that I was a little girl. But things really changed for us when I was in college and started visiting her on my own in San Francisco. I would just come and it would just be the two of us. And she would come down to the Mission and meet me at the BART station at 23rd and Mission. And summer after summer, we would go to the same little Salvadoran restaurant and sit for hours talking over coffee and pupusas and rice and beans. And from there, I also started spending time with her at her house, days at a time, and driving around Marin County and going to Stinson Beach. When she started having difficulty walking, we began to find beaches where they actually had wheelchairs with these huge blow-up wheels, and we would take these huge long walks on the beach. Which was so fun and so brave on her part because it was a little bit scary to be tipped around like that. But she was always such an adventurer. And something that people don't necessarily know about her is that after she got married to Wilbur, one of the things that they did in addition to trains was that they hiked everywhere. Everyone knows that she didn't have a car and that they didn't drive. Neither one of them had driver's licenses, but they walked everywhere, including over the top of Mount Tam from Mill Valley all the way down to Stinson Beach, and then they take a bus back with nothing but a sandwich for sustenance. Another thing that Grandma and I share is just the Cuevas frugality. There was a time when I came to visit her in Mill Valley, and we went to the movies. And she sent me out for popcorn, and I was just stunned at how much the popcorn cost in the lobby of the theater. So I walked out the door and across the street to the Mill Valley Market and bought popcorn there for $5 less and brought it back. And it's something that we've always laughed about. And so I just wanted to tell her about something that happened today, which is that in true Cuevas style, instead of paying for parking, I parked across the street and walked. And when I found out that the sodas that they were selling over here in the bar were $6, I turned on my heel and just had to walk away. And I drank water. So, Grandma, I did that for you. But I know I'm going on here very long. But I just want to say, Grandma, I love you so much. I treasure the relationship that we have had over the last 20 years. I understand how interesting and smart and complicated you are as a person. I know that we joke a lot about, the Cuevas family and just eating and talking, but I know how much you think about things and how much you are your own person. And I just really treasure everything that you have given me. So I love you and thank you.
My name is Joanne Sibing Lara, and I am Ana Maria Cuevas Lara's daughter-in-law. I am the wife of her firstborn, Juan Francisco Lara. And Anna, if you can remember when I first met you, I was only 26 years old, and you had so much energy. You were in your 40s. You were probably like 46 years old. You were living in San Francisco, and I was exhausted spending the weekend with you because your level of physical energy was amazing, and your ability to talk nonstop was absolutely amazing. And to this day, over all these years of my 43 years of married with your son, it has been a pleasure to have you as my mother-in-law. You have been always very loving and supportive of me and our family. And you, above all else, deserve such a fantastic celebration with all of your family and friends coming together to wish you only the best as you turn 90. You deserve it. You're a great lady, and I thank you for all of your love all of these years. Gracias.
I'm Juan Francisco Lara, otherwise known as John Francis Lara, the eldest son of Ana Maria Margarita Cuevas Lara, viuda de Lara y Whittaker. I've been a teacher all my life. I've been a teacher because my mother inspired me as a kid to be a teacher, having watched what she did with our family and with everybody that she met. She knew everybody's name. She never forgot their names and gave them the honor no matter who they were. If it was the person sweeping the streets, the person in a doctor's office, she treated them all the same and opened her home to everyone. The lessons that she taught me. She also talked about how she wanted to be a teacher, and I was able to fulfill her dream in terms of my profession. I've told my students over the years, you think you have it tough being single, being an undergraduate or a graduate student? Consider that it's 1949, you're 25 years old, your husband dies, you have 3 children, women have few opportunities in life, and she then went on from there to fight fiercely in order to ensure that the 3 of us had the very best of what she could offer us. I've never in my life faced a situation where I've said to myself, I can't do something. And that in part comes from the fact that I would think my mother had no opportunities to change her situation. How could I possibly face her and say, I couldn't do something? And it's something that has been a characteristic throughout my life in the lowest moments, so to speak. I've always thought, hey, you have nothing to worry about and whine about and cry about like a little baby because you don't have 3 kids, you're not 25, and you don't have a lot of opportunities. So as I said earlier today, everyone who was here today were like oysters that had a little grain of sand put inside of the oyster shell. And what came of it was a beautiful pearl. And everyone who shared her 90th birthday today are part of that wonderful necklace, that beautiful necklace of different sizes and hues, perfect necklace of pearls that she's established throughout her life. I look forward to celebrating 95 years and then the big pachanga at 100 years. Thank you. Thank you all very much for honoring our mother today. And many of you have come from Mexico, Oregon, New Mexico, New York, North Carolina, you name it, you're all here. And we're all celebrating. We gave her a choice. Do you want to do it now while you're alive? Or do you want to do it when you've passed and you won't be able to enjoy everyone and especially all the food? All the food.
Thank you so much for coming, and again, coming from all parts. And certainly thank you to Juan, my brother, and to Joanne, and to others who have been involved in the process of organizing this, as we would say in Spanish, this big pachanga, right? Big activity. My comments will be brief, as there's certainly no way to summarize, to compress how I feel, all the things that Anna C. Lara Whittaker has done for me in my life, and I know I echo the comments of my comments are echoed by my brother and my sister. But certainly over the past 68 years, it's been quite a run. I know it's probably hard for you to believe that I am 68 years old. I don't know if that laugh is any reassurance of what I just said. But you know, as far as memories, it all began about, well, when I was 3 years old, when standing in a crib in San Francisco on Haight Street next to the Cuckoo Club. That's before we moved on top of the Cuckoo Club. And here I was 3 years old and seeing all these family members shuttling in and out. And I didn't understand what it was all about. But it was that earlier that evening, or in the evening, my father, Armando, had passed away. And so it was at that point, it was obviously our realities changed for my mother and for the three of us. And it was somewhat of a struggle as we went forward. But certainly with my mother, with Mom, she became our shepherd. And I came to appreciate over the next many years that this marvelous woman could climb any mountain high. She was our David who faced the proverbial Goliath. And, you know, and sometimes it's obviously hard for me to talk about her without becoming somewhat emotional. I don't think today I'll have to recruit Xiomara to come up here to read the rest of it. She did that for me on one occasion. But she became our David, you know, who took on the proverbial Goliath in life. You imagine, how old were you? 21? When my father died? 25. With 3 children, just enough money to bury him, and no job. So it was quite a task that she faced. But, you know, it was her deep-seated love for her Creator, for her 3 children, and for my father's memory and his legacy that she pushed forward. And she, in her own gentle way, slew every dragon before her. And she did what was ever necessary to provide us food and shelter. And, you know, and while speaking of food, I mean, how can we, well, spoons, but how can we forget her renowned chocolate chip cookies? Who has ever had her chocolate chip cookies? Yeah. Well, actually, you know, they're probably better described as chocolate chip speck cookies, because every chocolate chip cookie could only have three chocolate chips. They're a Cuevas cookie. And her protective shield was always with us. I can certainly clearly remember the three of us, myself and Kathy, holding on to her leg as we were standing on top of a toilet seat. I'll explain how all this happened. On top of a toilet seat in our little apartment in San Francisco, as Juan, my brother, was down on the ground, and what was going on is my mother had a broom, and she had trapped a rodent, a mouse, in the corner, right? So she had the mouse trapped in the corner, and Juan was down on the floor. He had to descend from up high down to the floor with a very hard object. I think it was a hammer. We didn't have mouse traps. And she was encouraging him. Juan, you got to do it. You got to do it. And so Juan was doing what he had to do. He was doing the necessary, as the Indians have said, thumping away. So that at least there would be one last rodent right in our house, and we seemed to have plenty of them. They were our competition for food. But again, it was she was always there, and I never thought of ourselves as poor, never, and I guess we were, in classified economically, right, in statistics as that. But I never thought of ourselves poor, because we had such a rich home. Her compassion was not only for the three of us, but to anyone who had a need. And so maybe it was, how many of us have been a recipient of her compassion? And maybe it was a reassuring word, or at a difficult point in somebody's life, or even maybe that of her generosity when things were much tougher for others. Even in Mexico City, right? She goes far and wide, even in Mexico City.
I'm going to say that.
Well, you probably have a different version, right? But she demonstrated her unabashed humanity when she attended a very special activity for the matriarch and patriarch of our Mexico family, and I know that many of our family from Mexico is here. Yeah. And so it was for a very special activity for the matriarch and patriarch of our Mexico City family. So Mom and many other family members were there. And they had just lunched at a restaurant. Oh, okay, I'm sorry, I'm taking your thunder. And in true fashion, when they completed the meal, she, probably as I would, because I learned well from her, she put the extra tacos, the leftover tacos, in her purse, right? Because you never know. You never know when you have a need, right? And so then the family left, and they were going on to another location, and they all get into a cab. They shoehorn themselves into a cab. And as she would extend her compassion to anyone and everyone, she very quickly, of course, she doesn't even know Paco's name, the driver's name, and she says, have you eaten? Are you hungry? And she rummages in her purse, and sure enough, she pulls out the tacos. And I bet if there had been more people, it would have been like in the Bible, the 3 fish and the 3 loaves, right? That it would just, if there had been more people, more and more would have been coming out. To the surprise of this taxi cab driver, he was hungry, and he was very grateful, very surprised, but very grateful. And I really think that probably years down, he probably talked about that incident, that event, many years down the road, about this, the taco lady. But this kind woman who, with true sincerity and caring for everyone and anyone, that what had occurred. And her tenderness was ever present when I was no older than 6 years old. I was at a church rummage sale up at the Sacred Heart grammar school there, and I purchased her a ceramic deer, one of the little ceramic deers, little figurine, for a nickel. And so I trudged home, with my gift, hoping to put a big smile on her face. I stumbled and dropped the paper bag, and it broke, right? And I was crushed, probably even more so than the deer was crushed, right? And there would be no smile for her. And so with, I still may need you, Simara. And with tears streaking down my cheeks, I explained to her what had happened.
And you had the bag with the broken deer.
Yeah, I had the bag with the different deer. And so I went to bed as a very sad little boy. But, as you would know it, the next morning, there was the ceramic deer, all put back together again. Better than Humpty Dumpty could have ever cared, wished for. And certainly there was a big smile on my face, but even a bigger one on her face. And so I still have that ceramic deer, and that was what, 60, how am I? Yeah. 68? So 62. So I was 62 years ago, and we still have it, and it holds a treasure. And I didn't want to bring it because I was afraid I would stumble, right? But this is, yeah. And so it was, I obviously consider one of my very special treasure belongings. And so her dedication to us was unquestionable, always putting herself last. And I remember waking up when I was a young boy, waking up late at night, and found her sound asleep on the couch, taking one of her famous cat naps, right? And she was surrounded by a heap of tattered socks that she had been darning. Now, people of our generation, they darn socks. You folks will have to explain to your children what that really means, how you would darn a sock. And I said to Mom, Mom, wake up, it's time to go to bed. And she responded, don't worry, baby Armand. I'm fine. Now you go back to bed. You need your rest, and I got a lot more to do. And so she always put us, the three of us, first without a second thought about herself. And I could go on and on about the different phases of my life in which she provided me direction, understanding, care, reassurance. And so she is my proverbial North Star. I know my father, just as Kathy, Juan, we're all so very proud of you. I love you. And oh, and Kathy, can you lead them in 3 hip hip hoorays from? We already sang Happy Birthday, so.
All right, so ready? Hip hip hooray! Hip hip hooray! Hip hip hooray! As my brother and my mother both said, thank you. I feel the same way. Thank you, all of you who came so far to honor our mother. And I just thank God that I had the opportunity to see with my own eyes everyone that is here. And this morning, as I was doing Mom's hair, she was saying, "I'm so humbled. What am I going to say?" I said, "You're just going to wave like the Queen Mother." And so my mom is known by many names. She's known by Mom. She's known by Grandma. She's known by Grandma Lara, Grandma Rara, Great-Grandma, Great-Great-Grandma Lara. And she's known by Anna C., the famous Anna C., Mrs. Lara, Mrs. Whittaker. And all of a sudden, I can't think of all the names that Anna Banana, Auntie Anna. Very good, Rick. It is a funny name. And right, Anna Banana, like that. And then, of course, it's
there is a legend in Mexico that there was a question being asked, whose birthday is it? And they said, you know, the lady who gave Jose, the taxi driver, the taquito that was in her purse. That's who's turning 90. I thought his name was Jose. I didn't know what I didn't know what it was. And say, yep, that's her. And she's Yaya's older sister. She's Uncle Rafael's younger sister. And in the high school paper, the question was, would Ana Cuevas ever stop talking? Well, we hope not, but that's our mom. Anna C. with the Atlas credit look. If anybody ever had it where she pushed up her glasses and gave you the look. Right, Marilyn? So when my mom was a widow at 25, her faith, which was always in her life and even got stronger as she had to go to work, another step forward alone in her life. And Andy Anderson found her a job with the Freemans. And she was afraid. She was afraid to go to work. And he said, you gotta go to work. And so she did. And her father, Papi Caterino, was very proud of her. And he called her Luchana, a struggler, who you do what you have to do to survive. For you and your family. Can I have a sip of that water, please? Just really quick. Okay, I'm supposed to get closer to the mic. So if somebody didn't hear me, what a Luchana is, you do what you have to do. And that's what our mother did. And she did it great. I mean, so I was so happy when she met Will because she had another chance at a love. And she had, not only did she have Will, but she had the extended Whittaker, Harwood family, which was just another 50 or more people as they have grown, you know? And she poured herself into this new adventure with all the gusto that she's always had. And not only did she become, as Will would say, his wifey again, she also became a railroad woman. And she was really good at that. And she knew all the things, the trains, everything that Will knew, and enjoyed that life. I was really happy for her that she loved it. My mom was and always is a very positive woman. So as we were growing up, her faith, one of the things she always said was, everything is going to be all right. You know, don't worry. Right, everything is going to be all right. And Mom had a very strong faith, and she instilled in us her faith. That was instilled in her. And as far as we know, we can go back 8 generations of that faith. And she always said, and she hammered this into us, not, oh honey, she hammered it into us. There are 3 stages of life that God has put aside for us, and it's part of his plan. The first is, it's impossible. Mom would say, honey, just try. It's impossible, but just try. Second is, it's difficult. Keep trying, but Mom. And then third is, yahoo, gadzooks, you can do it. And we did it. And John, Kathy, and Armin, she would say, never talk yourself into defeat. For if you do, you will be accepting it. And that's one thing you don't want to do. And I think this is a message that continues for all her family and her friends. You just keep going, and in generations to come. Happy anniversary. Happy birthday, Mom. Okay, and now we have a yay, yeah, yay, yeah, here, yeah, yay, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, good afternoon, everybody. What a wonderful turnout.
Can you hear her back there?
Okay. Well, I'm Anna's baby sister. My name is Aurelia, and I'm also known as Yeya, and also known as Ray. So, I think many of you still probably remember a television program from the 50s called This Is Your Life, and sponsored by Ralph Edwards. And as you know, there was always a guest, and then they would bring people from their life, maybe, former coworkers, classmates, family. So Anna, this is your life. Thank you. Yeah. Now, what was it like having Anna as a big sister? We're very different persons, okay? She was always very observant and quite mature for her age, and she would never miss a thing. And since she's been at Enchanted Gardens, we've had to a chance to visit a lot, and we talk a lot about our past, our family, reminiscing. And she told me, she says, she always used to listen in when our parents were talking, or when our parents had guests, and gossiping, if you want to call it gossiping. But she never told me what they said. I was entirely, didn't even know what was going on. And as Armin said before, we didn't realize we were poor. Anna was a little more observant of that fact, but everything was fine with me. We had a roof over our head. We had food on the table, rice and beans every day. So what else could you have? But then growing up, when we were kids, we used to go to the show every Saturday, my sister and I and our two brothers, Tony and James. And of course, it was a double feature. We had a cartoon, you had a cereal, you had the news, so we were there a good part of the day. So my mother, knowing us, would pack a lunch. And she was in charge of it. So we'd get there, and we'd sit down. We were ready to eat. And we'd say, now? And she said, not yet. Well, she managed to make sure we had enough food for the whole show. And then, of course, our big event was going down at Christmas to Cresses. I don't know if some of you remember Cresses downtown. They had a big fountain. And our big treat was having a hot dog and a Coke. We never could afford to go and eat out. We had family come to the house, so we'd bring food. But that was our big treat. We weren't able to go on vacation. Our father was in business for himself. He was a house painter and decorator. And of course, my youngest brother was born in 1929 during that big depression. So not many people wanted to have their homes painted. But the one big event we had is my father got a job in San Rafael to paint a house. And he was told he could bring the family. So that was our big vacation. But we didn't know any different. We were happy. We had friends in the neighborhood that were more or less in the same situation. And then as time went by, it was kind of great. I realized it was great having a big sister because she broke the ice for a lot of things. We weren't allowed to date or think about boys until we were 18 or out of high school. Meanwhile, she meets Armin. I'm only 16. And they had a big flat, and then they also had a room where they used to have a get-together. So I got to go. And, of course, my brother-in-law, Armin, at that time, had all these great friends from Sacred Heart High School. So, wow, I was in my glory. My social life was looking up. And she says, And then, of course, coming from a traditional Mexican family, it was the girl's job to learn how to take care of a house, how to cook, etc. My brothers never had to do any housework. They had to help my father. So, of course, she was the oldest, so she got in there first. So I did as least as possible. But then she had to get married when I was 16. She was 18, you know. So then the next year, unfortunately, the next year after she got married, that's when we lost our mother. And she was expecting John. And then I was just completing my junior year of high school, so I was on school vacation. So she still had about another month before John was to be born. And she had to go to her doctor's visit, and her husband, Armin, your dad, didn't have a car, so we went on bus. I used to go with her to her doctor's appointments to accompany her. And when we got off the bus, when we got home, we had to walk 3 blocks up a hill. She got to the last hill, and she was quite heavy by then. So being a good sister, I used to get behind her and push her up the hill. Oh, see? Remember that? Yeah. So then John was born in August, so then I was still on school vacation, and she lived around the corner from us, fortunately. So I went every day to help her during the week while your dad was at work, you know. And it was kind of like the blind leading the blind. I mean, she really didn't know too much about babies. I knew less. So, but anyway, as you can see, John survived. He survived. And, you know, there's a lot of memories we talk about. It's funny, and, you know, and there's a lot I could tell more stories, but it's just great having her as my sister. I've always been very grateful, and as Armin said, she's always was there ready to help everybody. And then the time turned where finally John, Armin, and Kathy left the house, and the rest of us started having our family. So who was babysitting? She was, you know, and then she'd come to babysit for me, and my youngest son Raymond's job was to make sure she stayed awake. So then Raymond would say, Nan, you're supposed to be babysitting us. So, you know, remember, yeah, so, you know, there's a lot of fun memories. And then we worked together. As it turned out, we worked together at Atlas Credit. Then I left to go to Cable Car Clothiers, and a few years later, she joined Cable Car in the accounting department. There was an opening. And was there until she retired in 65. And I stayed there for a few years till I was 80. Can you imagine? But anyway, but here we are. We have a chance. Now that she lives on this side of the bay, I'm able to see her more often in San Mateo. But one thing I admire about my sister is all of you know where the house is on Blythedale Terrace in Mill Valley, the hills. They never had a car. She used to walk up those hills during the winter in the rain with her flashlight. Will would meet her halfway. I would never do it. I told her I would never do it. I admire her for that and love for Will, and we were all happy when she did find Will. She had a chance to have over 25 years, I think, right, with Will. And anyway, Anna, I love you.
Well, I love you too.
And you'll always have a special place in my heart.
Thank you.
Love you. Okay, thanks, everybody. Come here.
Well, thank you very much. Let me offer a perspective. My mother, her DNA and her history starts in 1710 with the first general on her maternal side of her family, her mother, Guadalupe Urrea. She's the second, as Yaya said, second child of 5 Cuevases, born to Catarino Cuevas and Guadalupe Urrea. And in 1710, Bernardo, Mariano, Jose, and everybody in between have a lineage from Mexico in terms of warriors, men of principle, and in this case, the DNA was transferred to a woman of principle. I'd like to say that you all have stories, and we would have liked to have an entire afternoon of people telling stories, but you're not going to be able to get a chance to visit and also to get pictures with her. And I would say those stories range from what my brother and sister talked about to those of us growing up above the Cuckoo Club, where after fishing at Muni Pier and catching little shiner fish that we brought home, little fish, she would cook them and put them on a saucer so that the tail flipped over the side and the head, and you had a sense like, oh my God, look at the size of this fish I got to eat. It runs the range of that in terms of her way of trying to combat any sense that we don't have, to the wonderful incident with one of her granddaughters who one morning as she came into the kitchen and everyone was asleep, looked in the garbage can and saw a pink box. Went over to the pink box, opened it, and there were donuts. Donuts covered with ants. And so dutifully she said, there's nothing wrong with these donuts. They just have a few ants. And so she took each donut out, took the ants off, picked them off, and cut them up for the family in the morning. The family comes in, and one of them is here, and I don't see him, but he's here. But this is my version of the story, Mario. And they sit down, and they say, Grandma, that was wonderful. Yesterday you bought some donuts for us. No, I didn't. Oh, and then you went out this morning, you walked all the way down to the shopping center to get the donuts? No, I didn't. Well, where did you get those donuts? I took them out of the garbage can. You did what? You did what? And you all have a range of stories from the humorous to the most sentimental and heartfelt, where she's given not only of her time, but of her money and her patience with all of us. I'd like to think that what she brings in terms of life, as I see it looking out at all of you, if you think about all of your tables, if you look at all these tables as oyster shells, and you know you can put that little grain of sand into that bottom feeder oyster, and you produce out of it, like these white tablecloths, a beautiful pearl, don't you? A beautiful pearl that she herself in some way has fashioned within each of us. And each of us, if you think of this wonderful necklace around her that we all represent, Mom, a necklace around you. We're all different shapes and sizes and hues and colors and the beauty of the pearl. And that's what we have here as you look out in this wonderful ocean of people who love you. So having said that, here is your moment, and what we're going to do is you're going to read your remarks.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for celebrating my 90th birthday with me. We have many family members and close friends here today. All of you have impacted my life and helped me along the way. I want to thank each one of you. I have tried to teach everyone to always give a helping hand, never look down on people, raise them up. I would hope that in times of trouble, you would ask, what would Grandma Lara do? Remember, there is a rubber band between your heart and my heart. Pull the rubber band and I'll be there with you. Okay. Armando Lara and I married when I was 18. He was a good husband and father. He was a Sea Scout skipper who inspired young people. But this is a sideline. He was always gone to the Sea Scouts. I was stuck at home with three children. And he was always out doing his thing. He was doing a good job. But we made it. We made it. Now, by the time I was 21, I had John, Kathy, and Armin. I was a widow at 25. God blessed me with my 3 children, 9 grandchildren, 13 great-grandchildren, and 3 great-great-grandchildren, with a 4th one expected next May.
Yay.
Yeah. If I had never married Armando, I would have wanted to become a math or English teacher. I was a straight A student and the salutatorian at my high school graduation, but it wouldn't have been possible for me because we did not have the money to go to college. I waited 22 years for the love of my life, Wilbur Whittaker. We were married when I was 57 years old. He was a pioneer in railroad photography. Wilbur was a family man. When we married, I was blessed with a second family of more than 50 Whittaker family members. During our 26 years of marriage, Wilbur and I went to sleep each night holding hands. And thank you all. Thank you all again for celebrating my 90th birthday with me.
So what we'd like to announce is we have a gift for you. We have a gift, and the gift is we've set up an endowed scholarship for a future teacher. So that means, and we've raised to date $8,000 from family and friends that are here and others, and that will be an endowed scholarship. By that I mean it will be in perpetuity. Once we reach the $25,000 level, it will continue the interest granted every year to a future teacher. Could be math or English, and we would hope by next year to put some money in so you could meet the first recipient of the Ana Maria Margarita Cuevas Viuda de Lara y Whittaker Scholar. So I want to thank everybody who's contributed to the scholarship. It is just really remarkable. And she had said on so many occasions, if life had been different and I hadn't married early, I would like to have been a math and science teacher. And in those years during the Second World War, which she didn't point out, the Second World War was not only economics, but the Second World War that precluded her from attending college. So we want to thank you and take then this moment that those of you that have not had pictures with her on the stage, the families, please do that and continue to visit. And you want to say thank you once again for coming?
I feel very humbled, and I'm going to start crying, that so many of you came out to celebrate my birthday. I love all of you, and I will always remember this day. It was very special. Thank you.
Hooray for Anna, hooray for Anna. Someone in the crowd is saying, hooray for Anna. Hep, 2, 3, 4, who you gonna root for? Anna, that's who.
So, do we get another happy birthday song? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Anna. Happy birthday to you.
Queridos primitos, les quiero dar las gracias por el viaje que vinieron aquí para celebrar mi cumpleaños, 90 años. Pero el regalo no eran las cosas que recibí material. Ustedes eran regalo de su persona, que estuvieron aquí. Eso es más importante de todos los regalos que recibí. Y aunque estamos aunque estamos muy lejos, pero nuestros corazones siempre están juntos. No importa cuántas millas aparte estamos, pero estamos unidos por el amor de familia y siempre están en mi corazón. Muchos besitos a todos ustedes, cada uno. Como 20 tengo que darles.
Okay.
Okay, I'm Henry Bender,
I'm Barbara Bender.
and we've known Anna through her husband, Will Whittaker, for a number of years and came to celebrate and wish her a very happy birthday. It's quite a momentous occasion, 90 years. We're only in our 70s, we're youngsters. But I'm a railroad fan, historian, and author, and I enjoyed Will's photography. The family calls him Wilbur, she did. And He was a universal photographer, not parochial at all in the choice of subjects. He would photograph locomotives. Many in those years would photograph locomotives, but didn't pay much attention to the other stuff like the freight and passenger cars and the depots. Will paid attention to the entire realm. And we met Anna when I was gathering photographs and negatives for my book I'm writing on California railroad depots. The last time we saw Anna was in June, just after my newest book on Southern Pacific Railroad Standard Design Depots was published by Signature Press. I took her the complimentary copy to her home there in San Mateo, and it was a number of years since we had seen her. We unfortunately had a conflict at the time of Will's funeral and memorial service, and were not able to attend that. But we'd been good friends. I remember their Christmas cards each year, and Wilbur's attention, like our own, to postage stamps. Most people, when they send something, they just get a stamp out. That's usually not a commemorative stamp, but his were and ours are. And we remember Anna particularly each time. Sometimes Barbara went with me, sometimes I went alone, but each time we went to their house up on Blythedale Terrace in Mill Valley, it was a delight to come in there because it seemed like a home, and the two of them were there. She was in the background often, but was always there to welcome me or us when we showed up, to look through, sometimes spend 2 or 3 hours looking through negatives and picking out the ones that I wanted to have printed. He'd take them down to Tom Gray and get them printed, and next time I came back there, they'd be. Meanwhile, he'd be looking through my negatives. We traded, and I think I got the better end of the deal. I was trading one negative for 2 prints. I didn't have a lot of money in those years, and seems to me it should have been 1 for 1, but we were both happy with that deal. I haven't counted in my new book. My book is 320 pages, 427 photographs. I haven't counted the number of Will Whittaker photos in there, but there's at least 20 or 25 or 30, and each one very appropriate for the book. And so it's been a real pleasure to know both of them. Best wishes for a happy birthday and many more, Anna.
Anna, I certainly second that. And thank you so much for the years of hospitality you gave Henry when he would arrive somewhat unannounced, and you would invariably put together a delicious lunch for him. And thank you for your hospitality, both of you. It's been a pleasure knowing you, and I think you and Will were made for each other. Many more happy birthdays.
Mm-hmm.